of people, and I feel like social media cliche has like heightened it and amplified it, where a lot of people genuinely and generally aren't comfortable with themselves or even know themselves in the first place, whatever. So, one of you or all of us can speak on just the fact, the idea of being unapologetically yourself, or in the past having identity issues or, things to break through, whatever. So, speak on that, any thoughts?
I got something brief because it's funny because as I was sitting here processing, I was thinking about that. I'm like, yo, still thinking about what people would say. I'm like, and then you got to take into account how much shit is subjective and just how they interpret you and how they receive you based on their experiences. Mm-hmm. So when you talk about unapologetically being yourself, people will have shit to say about you. Like if people can't use you the way they want to use you, they'll say, oh, this person is, I used to, you get told, you're selfish, you hard-headed, you this, you that. But it's like, nah, you really just want me to expand my boundaries in a way that they just don't open up for.
Right.
And it's like, you got to be able to be comfortable within yourself to know that everybody not going to be your cup of tea and you're not going to be everybody's cup of tea. And that's cool.
Right.
It's like, it's literally Democrats and Republicans for a reason. It's literally left wing and right wing for a reason. So it's like finding your tribe. That don't mean you go around people that don't hold you accountable. It just means that you go around people that see the world that you see it. Because the way perspective works, it could be a 6 or a 9, depending on how you're looking at it. I'm not arguing with somebody who see a 6 if I see a 9 and vice versa.
Right.
It's just, we just don't see it the same way. And as long as within your intent, you're not deliberately doing some fuck shit.
Exactly.
You got to be able to live with yourself.
And you wouldn't know this, but part of the theme of the show is him trying to give me some work to do to.
I'm gonna make you cry. Just say it what it is. I'm gonna make you cry eventually.
Well, he'll really learn over time, and it'll be crystallized that I'm truly unapologetically myself, whatever, and I'm unpacked, I'm aligned. We're good. We're good over here, whatever. And when you say when people, it's all about perspective. Anytime like my girl in the past, you say, "Yo, you being stubborn right now," it's like, but you trying to make me admit I'm being stubborn is being stubborn. It's like, and I feel like the idea of how people view you or, skew the perception of you, try to project things onto you, it can often just be not just the facts, just your perspective of
100%.
things. Now, again, people are assholes. People do have ill intentions, but a lot of times it's just like, yo, this is just this person, and as long as their intentions is pure and good, and all right, cool, what we're really talking about, whatever.
It kind of goes back to like the whole. I hate to bring up Dave Chappelle again, but he has some really good skits.
No. He's a GOAT.
He's a GOAT sociologist. Yeah.
When keeping it real goes wrong.
Yo, remember that?
Yeah, right?
On the Chappelle
and
show.
it kind of just, we have to think. That's why I said again, like it goes back to consequences. We cannot always control those. So part of being in a relationship requires you to have some openness and some flexibility. So your ability to like maintain a relationship and grow a relationship is also not going to be only dependent on you being yourself, but also being flexible within the bounds of yourself.
Yeah.
And you got to give a little bit, you got to bend a little bit. And I find like even like on social media, there are just a lot of people who are unhinged. I think I missed something. What happened?
I said pause.
Oh, right. Like people on social media are unhinged. Like they just want to be so real and so raw and so in your face that they cross the bounds of being community oriented and they go into disrespect. Right?
Yeah,
they go into disrespect. They say nasty, rude things. We have women who are on social media who are, again, doing the whole butt shaking thing or whatever. Listen, I will rewatch Megan Thee Stallion doing her thing 100 times. I contribute to the views too. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes in the back of my mind,
I saw your name in I saw her.
Ask Miss Cassandra and others.
Right. But at the same time, I do think about the younger ladies who, you know what I'm saying? Like you cannot confine everything, or being exposed to this and are thinking like this is the way that I'm going to get attention, right? Because we have to understand the psyche of a woman, right? We're going back to the whole thing around having empathy, seeing things from their eyes. And the thing that men don't really understand or appreciate about the feminine is that she is craving connection. She is craving attention. And sometimes men will vilify that as opposed to accepting it. Oh, she just want attention. Yes, that is the makeup of part of being feminine.
Yeah, like they should mold it more so, like you said, vilify it.
Right. It's not something. It's kind of like saying, like, for you to say, like, I like to be in control. Somebody can hear that and they see that as a negative. I hear that and I know where you're coming from, right? And it can get to extremes. But what happens is that when you have a group of young women who are impressionable and they see the woman that looks like Megan getting flued out, but men are screaming for modesty, but you're giving attention.
100%.
You feel what I'm saying?
It's like
so,
but it's like, again, so this is so, was you still speaking? Because I don't want to
go for it.
So there's a lot of what you said, right? Going back to even when we think about perspective, like, is the difference between being in control and being controlling? Because if the house is on fire, a woman will want a man that's in control of the situation. controlling is me just saying like, yo, you can't be you. Be what I want you to be, right?
Yes.
So I'm completely against being controlling.
Right.
Even within the scope of this podcast, it's like everyone has the freedom to say and do as they please. You know, we're just in control of the production with time, how we set up, whatever the case may be. But I'm not about to put filters on anybody, right? So that's just like the difference in that dynamic. But it was something that you said that was extremely key, and I don't want to people to overlook the impressionableness of children in general, because you know it's just the expectations of the young women, but it's also the expectations of the man. That's so that becomes what he's expecting to see. So it goes from, you know, even when they condemn it, they still become so subconsciously turned on by it, and it's like they start to look for and search and seek that. But what I was gonna say is a lot of people are neglecting their duty. And that's the part. It's like, you know, like, it's like, yeah, we want attention, you know, as much as men want respect. But we have a duty to get that and filter it. So we're saying what you said, it'd be irresponsible for us to speak to a certain subject without framing it a certain way. You got to understand that in the way you carry yourself. It's not about the attention you get. It's about the presentation you present to the person that might be looking up to you and that's coming after you. So it's like, I get it. That's that instant gratification. I want the immediate reward of ours, but men don't function off attention. We function off respect. And what I mean is just like a woman want our attention when reality should be seeking our respect, because we protect what we respect.
Absolutely.
We love what we respect. When we respect what we love, the shit we give attention can be as mundane as anything, as an ass being shaken in our face. And of course, because women want to play on that sensory factor of a man, which is our need to hunt, right? It's like, yeah, I want to conquer you. Of course, you got that. Of course, like that's my nature, as well as in your nature to want to find comfort and safety and security. It's my nature to want to go out and have adventure. So if you present yourself as an adventure, I'm not going to find safety and security, and you are provided for you because this is an adventure. It's not supposed to be safe. It's supposed to be fun. So yeah, that can give a man. Even when we talk about, they say men don't have self-discipline. It's the most dumbest shit ever, and I'll explain to you why, right? Because I would say that people don't have self-discipline in certain areas, but when women highlight us being over sexual in certain areas and wanting to, you know, get to that and say we don't have self-discipline, no, y'all just don't care about it like we do. But if we put y'all in a mall with an endless credit card with a, you know, a black card, Amex, so we're going to see how much self-discipline you have. Right. You know, we're going to see how you have impulse control. The difference is, sex, they don't take what it takes us to get sex and what it takes y'all to get sex is not the same. Things, so of course I don't want something that's easy to me that I can just do. If a woman just want to get fucked, she can find any nigga in the world that's willing to fuck her and just give him some pussy, and it'll be higher numbers than a man saying he wants to get it. So because of what the process of what we have to go through to get sex is typically why men feel rewarded in a sense. Where the woman having sex with 100 men, why would she feel rewarded? She'll more so feel degraded. You know what I mean? So even when we think about that attention factor, like you're attracting 100 men that want to fuck you, and then you feel degraded because these men are here to degrade you. If you want to get the attention of a man, you do be modest, and I'm not saying, when I say modest, it's just more so knowing who you are. If that's who you are, be who you are. We're gonna respect that.
Take whatever comes with it.
Take what comes. That's the consequence.
But we also operate off of a reward system.
I think humans do.
Exactly. Just bar none, right? Human functioning, two things, right? We have a resistance to change, and then we operate off of reward systems. And the reality is that a lot of men are contributing to the problem that they say that they do not want, right? At large.
I agree. But it's like, again, those men are, because that's what they want. Look at it like this. A man that wants to fuck you fast don't want you to have boundaries. He don't want you to have morals. He don't want you to have standards. It's a world of them. And then there's the other side of the men who are the ones speaking against it.
Some of them are saying the same thing.
No, this is what they're saying. I will fuck her. I won't marry her. It's not the same thing. The stance remains the same amongst men. Okay, we're not dealing with that seriously. But because of the male nature to hunt, again, that's like giving a woman your credit card and not telling her to budget. And expecting her to respect the limit. No, our impulse control is different. A man can be as frugal and get called stingy as he wants, as a woman can be called an uptight bitch for not giving up some pussy. No, the self-control comes in, I don't want to spend my money. You want to spend my money. You don't want to open up your legs. I want you to open up your legs. So it's that exchange, and this is where we go to the 10 and 2. Sex might be a 2 in regards to the connection to a man, but it's a 10 to a woman. Whereas though in reverse, the whole wanting to be provided for could be a 2 for a man, but a 10 for a woman. Like a man might be like, I ain't giving that bitch nothing. Excuse my language, but I'm talking how these niggas talk. I ain't giving that bitch nothing. And a woman like, yo, where are the men that do this? It's like, nah, you're operating to his 2. But it's also a man out here that's looking for the woman that values his 10 and he value her 10. But that's never the argument. We don't argue about that type of stuff because we could agree. So when you say we contribute to the reward, no, what Q was saying, we just don't say nothing. It's like, I'm not about to argue with the woman that want to shake her ass. Shake yeah, that's only between you and your audience.
Silence is agreement.
I agree. No, so it's the difference, right? It's a difference. It's only agreement if something is being done wrong and you got the ability to stop it and you say nothing. It's not agreement when you're respecting somebody's preference. I don't have to agree with you to respect your preference.
There's a fine line, right? So we're not going to say to somebody who has a large platform, like, we get it, sex sells, you're selling something. However, what I am going to say is, like, for me as a woman, right, I'm going to speak to young ladies and tell them what the real is, right? So consider this, right? A young impressionable girl, she's watching, right? And she is in her primal like level, right? So we're not talking about being educated. We're not talking about any of that. Just primal instinct is making an observation that women that shake their tail feather get a lot of attention. They get flued out. They get this, they get that. They get the house, they get the car. They get all this provision. And in her mind is skewing that data to say, okay, this is what I need to model if I want to be provided for, right? Not understanding that the context of relationship and connection is absent.
Yeah.
So some of these women who do that, they're fine if the nigga don't really want her.
Yeah, 100%.
They just want the stuff.
Yeah, 100%.
But the young lady who's impressionable, she doesn't understand that that's void of connection.
Yeah, I agree.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, 100%. And I think that where we disconnected in that particular thing is, no, like, that's what our platforms is for. I don't have to denounce something. All I have to do is promote what I promote.
The positivity,
so
yeah, totally.
Me acting aware, why would I send 500,000 people, reach to that particular topic trying to denounce it when, like you said, this person chose their fate. All I can do is fight against it by promoting positively 100%. How you should carry yourself. So it's not being silent. It's definitely not silence. It's redirecting the attention. It's saying, yo, look, I get, that you watch a lot of this, but if you really want the respect of a man, this is how you get it. And then when you say, like, they not being able to get that data, a lot of times young women and older women will run from that data. A lot of women have men available to give them logical advice and guidance, even if it's not romantically. Logical advice, they skew away from it. I'm telling you, like, it's so funny to me. I have all daughters, right? And I'd be like, yo, it's crazy that my daughter, and I don't even know the level and to extent that she talks to boys. I just know boys exist. She's 14 years old. 14, okay. So it's like, but I'm pretty sure she will go to her mom before me. And that's not smart. And I'm not saying that it's not smart to get advice from your mom. I'm saying that it's not smart to not come to me because I'm your father and it's my job to protect you, and I'm going to tell you things that you might not want to hear. I'm not one of them dads that's like, all men are going to cheat and hurt you, because that's not the truth. I just always tell my daughters that men ain't perfect, and you see me, I'm not perfect. So it's like, you see the mistakes I make, you see the growth I endure, and as long as you make sure you feel these 3 things, making sure that man makes you feel safe, protected, wanted, and like loved to whatever that look like, and you don't feel disrespected, unwanted, a burden. He gonna have his shit with him. And it's like, I teach those things because that's her real life experience that she gonna go through. I'm not gonna teach her that, like, just be blindfold, all men want to fuck. Of course all men want to fuck, but that might not be all they want to do. So it's like, a lot of fathers parent from a cock blocking standpoint versus a guidance standpoint, and it's like, I'm trying to guide my daughter to picking a good man, not trying to scare her away from men in general. And so many men do that. So it's like, it is what it is. But the fact of the matter is, going back to the whole the primal phase that the young ladies are in, is like, yeah, but they still have to lean on the wisdom of the teachers that's around them. You can't be guided by Meg Thee Stallion. Not to condemn her. I don't know what the girl does.
No, I'm totally
just saying, I'm not saying you are. I'm just saying, like, just speaking in general. Not to condemn any of the women that do it, if that's what they choose for their sense of entertainment, because it's a world for that. But for the people that's fine, it's just like being front of the street. Some kids lived in the hood and did not get caught up. We can't say, like, oh, well, the person that's not in it got to go try to condemn the drug dealers for, that world exists, as do the other one. I always tell my young boys when I'm teaching them and mentoring, I say, listen, I'm not going to tell you what to do or what not to do. I'm going to offer you alternatives. So at least you won't be able to say I ain't had no option. So I ain't saying that that's right or wrong. I got my personal perspective on how I feel about it, but you might have your own logic. But this is what I think is right. And here's an option.
It's just so mainstream. Like, our generation of men and women are gonna see way more naked bodies.
It's fucked up. Yeah.
Than our grandparents did.
Yeah.
Like our mindset is skewed.
Yeah, so that's one thing I will say that like kind of add another component to the conversation. Of course, nothing you guys are saying is wrong or not valid. But also part of me just feels like, of course, it's not really possible. But let's just imagine it. I feel like the issue that kind of just changes all if it's social media somehow is just
absolutely
has more of a boundary. No, has more of a boundary to protect certain things.
Okay,
like. I remember like when I used to play like certain website games, like Underground, I think whatever site was called, you had to say, are you 18 and go on the site, whatever. So that actually was a real thing. Like PG-13, you can't be a kid, you can't be a 13-year-old go see a rated R movie, technically, whatever.
Right.
So I feel like social media needs some type of way to actually prevent people from being on there, whatever. Because like, if the only thing we really are speaking to about women shaking her ass is affecting kids, and I'm not going to really put that on some girl shaking her ass who it isn't her kid. So it's like, that's the only thing where she can't shake her ass freely because kids may see it. It's like, I thought the issue is we needed to have more parameters on social media
100%.
that just alleviates this possibility.
Absolutely.
Whereas like, you should be able to shake your ass
go
freely,
for it,
whatever,
right.
and have adults see it if they
Right.
want to see it, whatever. But kids being added to the conversation just kind of pollutes it. Whereas like, when she shook her ass, hopefully she not thinking about a kid. But at the same, I think she does have that have that right, and that's the social media and the internet's job.
I agree.
But
with
I agree, right? Even though when you said that people won't, it's not possible. Of course it's not, because the people that's in charge they doing it for the money and other things. So it's not like it's their goal, right? That's not their goal or their agenda. But even when you think about when they did have parental guide controls when we was younger and they was censoring shit, we did everything we could to find uncensored versions.
But that's healthy. That's healthier. That's not. I won't say it's healthy, but
my mom took CDs from me.
There's a mode of hunting and seeking.
I got you.
Oh my goodness, that's like I'm just sitting right here.
Nah, yeah, you're gonna put that shit. Yeah.
I'm just constly seeing it so much. I'm gonna become desensitized. At least we had a black curtain and
that's a fact.
Blockbuster.
No, that makes sense.
You feel me? Or whatever.
BET
little
cut was at 3 a.m.
Right.
Yeah, like ass ain't supposed to be up anyway.
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I'm not saying that it's healthy per se.
I get what you're saying.
Right.
Yeah, it's healthier. Like it's a better. It's like you said, seeking. You you had to seek this to see this.
You at least knew on some level that I don't do that outside.
Yeah.
But now we are the ones that's responsible for the generation that's coming after us that is going to feel like they could go outside like that. And I don't want to see any little girl.
But it ties back
like
to accountability. People are justifying things where they should just be held accountable.
Correct.
People will literally find a way to make something okay that's not okay.
Right.
Which is why I don't partake in comment discussions, because it's like you are literally reaching to validate something that should just be an accountable situation.
Right.
We all have our own responsibility, especially as parents. We have to raise our children, not just watch them grow up.
Exactly.
And people don't understand that. People are just watching their children grow up and not understanding that the example we set is the foundation. And I always say, I'm just trying to raise good people. I can't make my kids perfect. I just want them to not be able to say, my daddy teach me certain morals, principles, and values. Whether they have to apply those morals, principles, and values is out of my control. They are their own human beings that having their own human experience. But one thing for sure, two things for sure, they're not going to say that I didn't lead by that example and I didn't try to instill it through their susceptible years of being impressionable.
Totally.
You know what I mean? And I feel like as a collective, everybody just running their own race. Our generation think we the kids.
Right.
Everybody just think like their life is just their life. Fuck everybody else's, and it's not
really.
What happens next don't matter.
Right.
And it's like you can't live life like that. You think about if our founding fathers, whoever they was, right? I don't know if they was white or black or whatever. Our real fathers and shit was black though. The real founders. Like, just think about the people that laid the framework and the guidelines for us. Imagine if Malcolm and Martin didn't give a fuck.
Come on, now.
Fuck them. We living in our today. Nah, they plan for the future, and I feel like our generation don't have no foresight.
Right.
We literally just live for now. Everything is instant.
It really is like that. Absolutely. Like one of